Hola a todos, bienvenidos a Moodle Class 10 de abril para capítulo 9, los viajes. Entonces, final exam changes and update. Check your email, it should be coming soon. And hopefully in the next day, if not already, you should have gotten your exam 8 back and your grade, okay? Entonces, plan para hoy es estructura número 2 y cultura. So just a reminder, you want to put the slides in presentation mode. So the transition works. You should be watching this first and then using the slides after. And then make sure that you go through the video and then do the end of PowerPoint activities and submit them by 8 p.m. the day of class. And today is the 10th. Bueno, entonces hoy ustedes van a combinar los dos tipos de objetos indirectos y objetos directos en one sentence y van a discutir las partes importantes de las culturas de Puerto Rico, la República Dominicana y Cuba. Ok, entonces hoy vamos a continuar comunicando sobre los viajes. So pause and complete. You're going to add the indirect object and then circle the direct object, okay? Entonces vamos a pausar. Bueno, vamos a continuar. Entonces, Jorge compró flores para mí. Jorge me compra flores, and flores is the direct object. And we'll go back to that in a second. Número 2. Marta cuenta la historia a nosotros. Marta nos cuenta. Los padres leen el libro al niño. Los padres leen. Escribo una carta a mis abuelos. Les escribo. Felipe da un anillo a Juana. Felipe le da un anillo. Vendemos la casa a Marta. Le vendemos. And then here are our direct objects. Okay? Si ustedes tienen preguntas, yo tengo horas de oficina esta semana. Ok, entonces, cultura. Hoy vamos a hacer la cultura para la República Dominicana, Puerto Rico y Cuba. And your prep work will be one of your Moodle submissions, ok? Entonces, vamos a empezar con Puerto Rico. Capital es San Juan. ¿Hay algunos países en la frontera? No, no hay nada porque Puerto Rico es una isla. Moneda es el dólar estadounidense y las lenguas son español y inglés. Perfecto. Y recientemente había un huracán, ¿sí? Entonces aquí es la destrucción de este huracán. Cuba, capital es La Habana y nosotros sabemos que en inglés decimos Havana, pero en español es Habana. Moneda es el peso comunicano, lenguas español y no hay países en la frontera porque es una isla. Y finalmente la República Dominicana, capital es Santo Domingo. Sí, hay un país en la frontera, Haití. Y moneda es el peso dominicano, aquí es un ejemplo, y las lenguas son español. Y mira, las banderas son similares entre Puerto Rico y la República Dominicana, entre Puerto Rico y Cuba. Es lo opuesto, ¿sí? La República Dominicana es un poco diferente. Entonces, aquí tengo alguna información para ustedes, and this will help with your prep work, but I wanted to talk about the history specifically. So it says, Puerto Rico mantiene el estatus de Estado Libre Asociado, or Territory with Commonwealth Status, con respecto a los Estados Unidos. Esto significa que los puertorriqueños son ciudadanos o citizens de los Estados Unidos con los mismos derechos y deberes que los ciudadanos estadounidenses, excepto que tienen que residir en los Estados Unidos para poder votar. Okay, so what this is saying is that Puerto Rico is a territory of the United States, and that anybody who lives and is a citizen of Puerto Rico is technically a citizen of the United States. If you ever know anybody who's a Puerto Rican who lives in Puerto Rico, they will have a U.S. passport, but unfortunately, they cannot vote in the presidential elections unless they're living on the mainland. Okay, so los puertorriqueños que residen en la isla votan para elegir su gobernador o gobernadora, okay? Entonces, es un poco diferente de los Estados Unidos, porque ellos no tienen las mismas derechos, pero derechos similares, okay? So here is something interesting. So this is the votes that Puerto Ricans have made in the past about becoming their own state, their own country. And so as you can see in 1967, I'm going to break this down in English so it's clear. The orange represents those Puerto Ricans who wanted to become a United States state. The blue represents those who are fine with how they are. Okay, so they are right now like a free associated state. We call them an unincorporated territory. In 1993, we see more people wanting to become a state. We see less people wanting to stay as they are, and we see a small fraction of people wanting to become independent or their own country. Okay, so then in 1998, we see that a large portion wants to become a state, and 50% don't want to become anything. So not a state, they don't want to be free associated, and they don't want to be independent. So then in 2012, we have about 50% wanting to leave where they are as a territory and become something different, whether that's a state of the United States or their own country. We see about 45%, 44% wanting to keep their status. And then when we talk to people who don't want to be a territory of the United States, we see a large percent don't have an opinion, a large percent want to be a sovereign free association, and then even bigger percent, the majority, want to become a state. So this is an ongoing discussion, and you'll meet people from all different opinions if you ever travel to Puerto Rico. But this is something I thought I would bring up to you guys because it's important to think about. This won't be on the test, but it is an important topic of conversation, specifically for Puerto Ricans. So, las actividades para cultura van a ser al final del PowerPoint. Entonces, estructura número 2, okay? So we're going to be connecting the two puzzle pieces of indirect and direct objects today. ¿Por qué no los dos? Why not the two of them? Notice porque up here is not the question form, but rather it's saying because not the two. So this isn't the best meme, but why not combine the two, okay? So sometimes you might want to use both direct and indirect pronouns together in the same sentence. In this case, note that indirect pronouns always precede direct object pronouns, okay? So I like to think of people first because indirect object pronouns answers the question to whom or for whom. So we're always going to put people first, okay? So me, te, le, nos, os, les, and then direct object lo, la, los, y las. So you might be seeing these say, and you might go, why do they have say if we only know that it's lay and lace? Well, in the example below, notice the pronoun lay and lace always change to say when they're used with the direct object pronouns lo, la, los, and las. This is to avoid confusion, and it's a lot easier to say lo instead of lay lo. You can try it on your own. Try saying les las versus say las. Spanish always goes in the direction of easy and simple, and so that's where we're seeing this change. So Elena le compró un regalo a su hermano. Okay, so remember we're using a su hermano for specificity, but un regalo is our direct object. So instead of saying le lo compró, because un regalo is lo, we say se lo compró. Okay, the same goes here. También le compró una camiseta a su madre. Elena se la compró. So don't forget to change that le and lace to say when it's in front of lo, la, los, and las. Also, note that in a sentence with an infinitive or a present participle, pronouns may be placed before or attached after, like we know. So Elena quiere comprarle un sombrero a Humberto. Se lo va a comprar, or va a comprárselo, where se, our indirect object, still precedes our direct object, okay? In the case of affirmative commands, the pronouns must be attached to the command form, okay? So when we're using the commands, which we know, we have to attach it with the indirect object first and then the direct object. Okay, so pause and complete this activity. Okay, so it says subraya or underline el objeto directo and haz un círculo alrededor de objeto indirecto. En tu respuesta, sustituirlos por los pronombres directo e indirecto necesarios. Okay, so number 1. So le explico el director los detalles del viaje a los nuevos exploradores. So what did he explain? Los detalles. To whom? Los nuevos exploradores. So we would say, sí, se los explicó. So go ahead and do number 2 through 6 and we'll come back and review them. Okay, we're back. So, número 2, le compró una exploradora una guayabera cubana a su hermano. So, una guayabera cubana is a type of shirt. So, sí, se la compró. Unos exploradores nos trajeron un recuerdo a nosotros. So, un recuerdo a nosotros, sí, no, nos lo trajeron. ¿Les trajo un explorador muchos regalos a sus amigos? Sí, se los. Un explorador va a prestarte a ti su nueva guayabera. Notice this is inverted. No me la. This one's tricky because you're going to want to put te, but remember, we're answering a question, and it's saying, did they loan you a new shirt? No, they didn't loan me. Okay, le envió una explorador las fotos a su familia. Sí, se las. Okay, and las fotos, notice that might be a trick one, but it is las. Okay. Okay, bueno, entonces vamos a continuar. Entonces, para esta actividad, ustedes van a hacerlo para Moodle. Entonces, vamos a formar los mandatos afirmativos, okay? So here's the affirmative to commands rule. So remember, you conjugate it to the él, ella, usted form, and then that's your command, okay? So, for example, we're going to be telling somebody to do something, and we're going to be substituting our pronouns in. So, send the letter to my mother. So, send it to her. So, mándasela. Now remember, we're going to preserve our original stress. So in the word manda, since it ends in a vowel, N or S, our stress goes on the second to last syllable. So that's where we would put it. Okay, so you're going to complete this on Moodle, and then I will give you feedback. Okay, this is one other activity you will do and put on Moodle. So you're going to form 3 different sentences. You can combine any of these to say something, and you're going to write out the full sentence, and then you're going to identify in one sentence your indirect and your direct object, and then in another redone sentence, you're going to replace them. So you should have total of 6 sentences made with 3 combinations. In the first sentence, you'll have everything. So, yo cocino una tarta a Marcos. Okay, so I cook a tart for Marcus. Okay, then in your next sentence, you're going to have yo le. Well, in fact, it wouldn't be le, right? Because we do have una tarta. So it'd be yo se la cocinó. Okay, where se is used because this is going to be lo, la, los, or las. And then we would put both of those in front of our conjugated verb. Okay, so you should have 6 sentences, but they should really just be 3 sentences in 2 different forms. Okay, if you have questions about this, send me an email. And the last that you will submit on Moodle are these culture sentences. Okay, entonces, para repasar, activity on slide 18, activity on slide 19, culture activity on slide 20, and your culture prep work should all be submitted on Moodle by 8 p.m. And la información para ustedes is Mind Tap homework, and keep an eye out on that email. Adiós y hasta pronto.